Hello, how are you? Am I on time? Right on time, down to the minute. Hey Liz, how you doing? SoFlo Mala, Don K, how are you? Well, Don, I hope you're not disappointed. I hope I haven't built this thing up too much. I try not to do that. Hey Liza, how are you? Hi Mike Stevens, how you doing? Oh, Starecia, thank you so much. Hey, Running Bear. That amazing intro, Menace to Sobriety, made that for me. Isn't that awesome? Well, my goodness. I'm like in a weird funk today. I don't know what it is. I think that this, like, oh God, too much YouTube, not enough. Oh, not at, like, I have to get better at not. I'm listening. I'm getting to that place where I'm listening too much. I am, and it's starting to. Hey Barbie, how you doing? Hey Grandma Sherry. What's so bad about this place is that if you're gonna do commentary, like, obviously you have to know about what the hell goes on in this dump, and things happen so fast that you really can't take long. Well, let's see, like yesterday I didn't do anything as far as videos live, none of that, because I was doing real world stuff, but I was listening, and it wasn't. Yesterday was relatively tame, but this morning when I got up, I listened to Queen Bee from last night, and I had listened to her yesterday in the afternoon for quite a while, and the one night that I managed to stay awake to go to Jenny Jen's, the one night that she had to cancel and reschedule. So I'm not a night person, you guys. I think I've talked about that before. I am useless. Once the sun goes down, truthfully, I'm done. Like, I don't go to bed that early, but I just can't. I don't want to have to do anything productive with my brain. Hey, Tex Tiffany, how you doing? Hey, Beer Can, what you doing? Stella Bella, how are you? Yeah, this place, honestly, it always has me asking myself, what am I doing here? Like, what is this all? What is it all about? Because for all the things that I really do enjoy about this place, Ghost of Stacy Papolina, I recognize that picture, but not the name. I know you under another name, don't I? Oh no, please. Woo! Hold on, you guys. Damn it. I keep putting this damn mouse not in the place it belongs, which is on the table. And yeah, this is the second time I've done this. The other day I thought I yeeted myself, but I didn't. Okay, let's try this again. Hold on, I gotta open my window back up here because it's okay. There we go. I'm a freaking hot mess. Now I just lost my pony. But the good news on that front is I'm pretty sure I have, yes, I do, 87 more in my little goodie box. Does anybody else collect Louis Sherry chocolate boxes? Love them. They're great for putting your little treasures in after you eat all the yummy good stuff inside. Okay. So anyway, yeah, it's I you know what? I just need to find I got it, and this I'll never get used to. Left is right, right is left. I'm very OCD about the pieces on either side being relatively equal dimensions. Yeah, I just need to find oh yeah, so Flo Mama, do you like Louis Sherry chocolates? Hey Steph B, how you doing? Yeah, so it's a Lisa problem. It's not a YouTube problem, it's a Lisa problem. Because it's so very easy to get sucked into all this petty. Well, I'll just cut to the chase and tell you what I was listening to. So when I got up this morning, I saw that Queen Bee had done another live last night, not long after I'm trying to remember what time I listened until last night. It was late enough on in the day or the early evening that when I saw this morning she'd had another live, just like, I think my timer said something like 4.5, 5 hours prior. So I figured, hey, Dis.I.M, how you doing? I figured that, oh, something must have, not that that's that unusual. She oftentimes does multiple streams, you know, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, sometimes one later at night. So that in and of itself was not so surprising. So I thought, oh, okay, so I'm going to listen to that. I like to, when I'm getting ready in the morning and doing all the things I have to do to, you know, to make the magic happen and whatnot. And, you know, just all the real life shit you have to do before you get to just play on the internet the rest of the day. I like to try and listen to something that I can listen to the entire time I'm getting ready, if possible. I don't want to have to keep stopping and finding something else to listen to. So, I knew I was going to need to buckle the seatbelt within about 30 seconds of her starting. Because she was pissed. And after I listened for a few minutes, oh God. That's what I was talking about this morning on the video when I said, yeah, if you ever want to know if you've got middle school kids and you want to, you know, get an idea what it must be like to be in middle school. Well, listen to, and it wasn't what was going on Queen Bee's. It was well, you did hear a little bit of the audio. Joneson went over to Tiffany Marie's. And by the way, I think she was in this chat yesterday. I might be mistaken about that, but there was somebody that I'd never seen before. And I don't believe there was an avatar. And it was just capital T and then capital M Marie. And I didn't put it, I don't know for certain that was her. But I did glance at some point in the chat and I saw that someone had asked her, are you Tiffany Marie? You know, and I think it was in quotes. Y'all know I'm not good at talking and reading the chat at the same time. I do try and, you know, look at it here and there, but I'm just not, hey, Catherine, how you doing? I'm not good at watching the chat and staying on track. So, and the only reason at the time it happened it just never occurred to me. And I don't, like I said, I don't know that that was her, but it was a name I'd never seen before. And she has never, ever come in my chat, ever, that I know of, not under her regular Tiffany Marie. So apparently last night, Laura went on Tiffany's panel, and at some point, Joneson came up, and then Deets on the Street came up. Yeah, Ceresia, I tend to think it was not. I don't know why she would have been in here. I mean, I've never had an issue with her. I used to go to her chat, well, periodically. But yeah, I figured it was just somebody else with the same name. Or you know how people like to do shit like that. So it oh, okay. Okay, Texas Tiffany. Yeah, I didn't think, trust me, I really didn't think that it was her because she's never ever come to my channel before. So there really would have been no reason for her to be here. But it just, in light of things that happened, it just did make me look back and go, well, God, was she in my chat earlier? Okay, so and it really, that had no bearing on this story anyway. So it was just an odd coincidence. So yeah, Laura went on Tiffany's panel. I don't know. I thought I heard this morning that her appeal on the strike, the community guideline strike, or whatever it was, I believe I heard her appeal was successful. So, oh, well, I'm sure she'll be, I listened to that. And here's the thing. I've listened to plenty now about that video that Joneson made. And I spoke on it briefly. And I can tell you this, I never would have had I not heard it with my own ears. And the way that she, like, does she have a screw loose? First of all, a lot of you people, you're going to have strokes if you don't, like, ratchet it down a notch. I don't know how you get so rabid and infuriated by your own words that you said out of your mouth. And it doesn't matter how many years ago it was. What the fuck does that have? What bearing does that have on the price of tea in China? Like, I don't get it. Now, I understand. I wouldn't like it either. But how can you call yourself an adult and get that twisted up over something that you said out of your own mouth that's been clipped by other people? And she absolutely, I don't know her. I don't want to know her. She seems to be close to 50, if I had to guess. Going on, maybe 12 or 13 at best. And when I heard her make that remark about, I'll go lower than you could ever fucking imagine, or something to that effect. Wow. That boy, that's a page out of the Bullhorn Betty playbook, isn't it? And it's that kind of, and I believe her. That's the part that's, oh, well, that's the part that's perplexing. Because I'm sorry, that does not indicate to me one who's, mentally sound. I can fully understand that I'd be pissed too. But I'd be pissed at myself. I wouldn't be pissed at the person who, and I mean, come on, let's get real about this. She's not exactly known for her nice, sweet, kind nature. She seems to go like real low, real fast. I heard her say the most foul thing. I won't even say it because I'm sorry. That is like skank. I'm not a skank, and I would never speak to another woman in that manner. I mean, that's debasing. And I don't give a shit what community you're from. I'm not from that community, not in the real world, and not on YouTube. I can promise you. Oh, and she said it to Deets, and I'm sure you will know exactly what I'm talking about. She told her to go perform. There was something she told her to do to go perform on Queen Bee. Like, wow. And it's that kind of shit that makes me stand back and go, I'm sorry, I'm not from that. I'm not that. I'll drop the F-bomb probably more than I should. And I'm not sitting up here saying that I'm such an angel and I've lived a sheltered, perfect life. Hell no. There's a reason they call me Jaja, okay? However, and then I sit back and I see that people like her and Bullhorn Betty. And listen, Laura, I hate to tell you, but you and Bullhorn Betty, you're in the same class and category, okay? You can think to the contrary all you want, but you're no different than her. I don't know why you think you are. You may get facts straight about things on the much more regular than she does. I mean, I don't know you very well or of you very well. I can't say that anything I've ever seen or heard has ever prompted me to want to go listen to you. I mean, I pretty much had your number the first few minutes of listening to you. So I hope you're smarter than Betty. I'll go ahead and give you that. And just assume that you are. But I mean, I don't know where you grew up, but I just can't imagine as a whole grown woman who has children in the world and hopefully family that's living, immediate family. I'm just trying to picture a scenario where I told another woman to go do what you said to Deets, what you told Deets to go do to Queen Bee. And I mean, that was just classless and disgusting and tells me exactly what kind of woman you are. I got that. But that's not the part that's so, like, really kind of, when I heard it, had me go, it made me take a step back. And not for the reason that you think. But, you know, I think most of us heard someone re-released the stream where Makeup Mobster was swatted. I wasn't around, obviously, back then. I only listened to a few minutes of it, and I don't know enough about it to, I would not presume to make an assumption about who made that call. But, you know, when you take all these little pieces into totality, I mean, right out of your own mouth. And I understand we all say things when we get pissed, but no, not as an adult, not as a grown woman. I've never told somebody that I'll go lower than they could ever fucking imagine. And I just wonder, like, how do you pick who you're gonna say that to and do that to? Because, like, here I am sitting in this chair speaking on you. Very factually. I'm not speaking on anything that's not out there that you didn't say, that I don't know for certain came out of your mouth. So are you going to tell me that tomorrow? See, because it's people like you that say shit like that that make any normal thinking person leery of being in any venue where somebody like who thinks like you, who clearly, I mean, I heard you dancing 6 ways to Sunday, spinning in circles, forwards, backwards, every which way but loose, as to what all the rest of us were sitting back listening to, going, it really isn't this complicated, Laura. We don't need to know her intent. I mean, she literally admitted. Well, no, all I really looked at was the comments. You didn't even take the time to listen to the video Jones made. And I'll even go so far as to give you this. I get it. I understand. I wouldn't listen, everybody has ways that they deal with the things people say about them. So I can completely understand if someone's way to deal with that is to just not watch it. I can totally get down with that. But then you don't get to turn around and start ripping them for filth on something you didn't listen to. You just heard your words repeated back to you and you didn't like it. And I don't blame you. I wouldn't like it either. But we are all human and we all say things that we wish we hadn't said. We all do things we wish we hadn't done. But fortunately for the ones of us like you and me who didn't grow up with this internet thing, well, by the time you're our age, you're supposed to have gotten to the point in life where you got a little bit of control over what comes out of here before it just flies out, and it's then memorialized forever. Thank you, internet. I mean, it didn't sound real rational. You were just foaming at the mouth and trying to just dominate everyone by being rude as shit. My God, you are the most ill-mannered. I mean, you remind me a lot of Betty. You got better hair. I'm going to give you that. And I think you're probably smarter than Betty. But I see a lot of similarities between you and Betty. And it just honestly, it makes me sit back and go, this is what people want. Because I'm never going to give you people that, ever. I will not. And all this going real life shit, y'all are going to do it to the wrong one day. I hope I'm around to see it. And y'all are going to deserve it. Whatever you get, you're going to deserve it. If you are so twisted up inside, I mean, honest to God, I'm listening to grown women behave like probably middle school boys. And one of the things that kept going through my head was, holy shit. I mean, one of them is going to have a stroke. Like, you cannot live in that heightened. I just think there's a hell of a lot of miserable bitches in this place. Just absolute miserable bitches. Hey, B Tim. I mean, I didn't. And then you got Dolly, fucking predator Dolly. Yeah, I said it. Dude, go to Grindr, go to Tinder. I didn't know that YouTube was, I mean, in the case of Laura and Betty and people like her, bitter, hateful, lonely bitch, party of one, your table is now available. So there's that. Like, I didn't know that when you create a YouTube channel, that the price of being on YouTube is a bunch of nut jobs who think that they are entitled to dig into your life. Well, even that, I'm fair game. Family? No. I mean, I'm only able to speak the way I do because I work for myself. My family, you will never get into where they live to go picket, call in, who knows what kind of threats. I'm in a, I don't have little kids. There's not a damn thing in the world you could do to ever get my husband fired from his job. He's been there 31 or 32 years. You could mail them a YouTube video of him committing a felony, and they wouldn't care. But when I hear this unhinged shit, and then somebody who actually says out of her own mouth how very low she's willing to go. I mean, there's a part of me that said that it may not come across this way, but I've always kind of been that person who I fucking hate a bully. And I don't like liars. I don't like people who try and exert their will over other people, etc. And when I see that kind of stuff happening, I've always been that person who will call it out. But times are different, and I don't think I really properly appreciated just how cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, oh, in the words of Miss Bullhorn Betty, some people actually are. But I'm getting educated on that every day. And then and then there's Dolly, who I'm sorry, one time, that's a misunderstanding, possibly. Two times, not in my book, but over and over and over. And it's like most of his audience are women. And it's no skin off my ass. I don't give a damn what you women do. Trust me when I tell you. I don't want Dolly's people. I don't want Betty's people. I don't want Laura's people. I got a husband who I can talk his ear off every night if that's what I want to do. I've got a dog and 3 cats I can talk to too. I mean, when something makes normal people start to question, like, is it even safe to be doing this? And it just seems like the reward system here on YouTube is the exact opposite of the real world. It seems like the more of a dirtbag you are, the more criminally minded you are, the more of like a con artist you are, the dumber you are, the more dishonest you are. It seems like that's, well, my goodness, those are the people that have all the they've got the big channels. Well, and I when I say big, trust me, I understand it's relative. It's like my husband always likes to remind me, honey, you know that is like just a little teeny weeny tiny speck of YouTube, right? You do get that, right? And I do, but it's very easy to lose perspective on that. So, hey, Ellie, follow the grain, ginger snap. Oh, Catherine, did I say hi to you? I think I did. And, where Dolly's concerned, I've seen a few comments in chats about, hey, so what if he solicits pictures? So what if women voluntarily give him pictures? He's a man. He's going to do what a man does. Well, I'm sorry. This is not the platform for that. I mean, if I wanted to be around that, I mean, I guess I'd go to Grindr or Tinder or whatever these other sites are. Yeah, and I know, I get it. I know what Grindr is. I just always liked it, Oh, Mama Bullhorn, whoever you may actually be. Oh my God, Ginger Snap. I know. It's like, are y'all blind? I mean, to each his own. I get it. But as a woman, I'm sorry. I can't get down with all that. And it's not just that. When there's smoke, there's fire. There's a whole lot of smoke with this guy. Look what he did to Aileen. And I don't know a thing about her. I never laid eyes on her until that Quentin Simon debacle out there. And as a woman, I'm sorry, leave your woman card at the door if you are good with what he did to her. It's that simple. I don't come talk to me. I don't rock with that. And I don't give a damn what her history is. I don't care about any of that. It's irrelevant. I don't care if, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker sent her down to Georgia. It doesn't matter to me. He spoke to her like she was subhuman. And only the lowest of low lives would speak to anyone that way. Never mind a woman. So, I mean, there's just, it just blows my mind. It does. All of this. And it's like, it just keeps ramping up. And, I don't know why I keep talking about this and I keep wrestling with this, because this has been going on since I was here the first time, since I came back. And it doesn't matter what you do here, because here's the deal. And this is what we all know. There's a million things I could sit on here talking about, but that's not what anybody wants to hear. So it's like, okay, if you're going to invest your time, because for me, it's not even about the money. I don't give a shit about the money. I'm not trying to make money, and I'm not worried about the money I'm losing while I'm on here playing. So it's not a money thing, but it is my time. And, the mental energy I put into it, because I don't just, come in here and start blabbering away about who knows what. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's the same thing I always say with this place. To what end? Like, to what end is all of this? I don't know. And I was with my family yesterday, and I'm thinking about, some of the stuff from the morning. And I'm just trying to envision a scenario where I would ever be able to explain to my mother and father that, thank God, they don't really ask about. I told you, every 4 or 6 weeks, my mom will say, "Oh, honey, are you still doing that YouTube thing?" But I'm trying to imagine how I would explain the insanity that goes on here and why I am voluntarily in it. I mean, because I know exactly what my mother would say to me, and she'd be right. So, which I guess I don't know. My preaching is over on that front because it's just rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. But to me, and I don't care. Somebody's going to drag me for it. I give two shits. Okay. I do not care. Say whatever you want. To me, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that this kind of shit bothers me. You know why? Because it indicates that number one, I have a moral compass, and number two, that I'm mentally sound. Okay. That's what that means. If it doesn't ever bother you, yeah, that. I'm telling you, the last time I was here, I truly in that quick just decided this is the most disgusting, vile place. Like, out. Lisa, out. And when I tell you that I did not even watch it. It was literally like being in a cult. I truly did. I had to like deprogram. And I did. And it was, what's crazy is that you will and I wasn't on here even as much as a lot of other people are, but I will tell you that you step away from it and decide that you're not even going to watch it for a period of time, and you will absolutely find yourself with a large void. And it's like anything else. It was like any other bad habit you had to break. Like you have to find new ways to fill up your time. And when it's something like this that starts becoming a pervasive part of your day, and then, we make these relationships on here. I mean, that's the part I love, truly. Is I love going to different chats and talking to people. And I like coming up here and talking about whatever the hell I want to talk about. But yeah, so that's that. It just, oh my God, I was just so disturbed by what I heard yesterday. And it's like, why? Why does it go to that? Like, I just really hate that people, in the real world, we set standards for behavior in society, for the greater good. And the people that cannot conform to those minimum standards, well, they go to prisons, much like two of the idiots we're getting ready to talk about. And, the Amish, they're onto something, okay? Because in the Amish community, when you don't toe the line and you don't live up to their standards, well, you're shunned. And I just think it's a shame that on here, we cannot get rid of the bad actors and the most vile. And when I say vile, foul, all that, I do not mean the words that they say. Okay. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the tactics, the underhanded, disgusting, bringing people's families into shit, weaponizing, law enforcement, CPS, whatever else they do, all that. Listen, people's families, if you don't want people messing with I don't get it. I cannot. It is just a bridge too far. I cannot even wrap my mind around having that, being that twisted up inside over YouTube bullshit on the internet, that I'm going to go and try and cause someone in their real life, and half the time it's not even the person who has anything to do with it. And when people support that and they stand behind those shitty people that do that, well, that's why it's not going to stop. Because if it has not been made abundantly clear that the community will not tolerate it, then why would they not do it? Because look at Laura's own words. I'll go lower than you can even possibly imagine. Ma'am, that's nothing to be proud of, in case you're wondering. That's not a flex. It might be in your world, but not in mine. There's a few people on here. I'm not lying. If I woke up tomorrow morning and they were gone forever, good riddance. But would I ever do one thing to cause them a real world problem? No. So it's scared. That kind of mentality scares the shit out of me. Okay. It just does. I'd be lying if I said it didn't. But it's also always good when people are stupid enough to memorialize more things that probably were better left unsaid. And it's like, it's just the most juvenile thing I've ever heard. Hey Earth, how you doing? Hi Remy. Oh my goodness, I need to go up and read more on that comment because I don't like the sound of that. Contacting. Oh God. Oh, follow the grain. Well, I would say if you have to do a preemptive strike as far as notifying anybody that might need to be notified, then I mean, it's like, come on. If people cannot distinguish the difference between YouTube shit and, listen, anything I say out of my mouth on this platform, I am fair game. You come for me all day long. Me. But when you start, wanting to involve people that have nothing to do with any of this, it's like, that to me just does not indicate someone who's mentally well. It doesn't. Ladylike. Oh. Yeah, here's the thing. It's like I'm not at all naive, and I've lived long enough to know that a lot of people are what I would call a blowhard. But you know what? Like, maybe it's my blessing in life that I've never known people. I'm not going to say, I've known plenty of people that seemingly don't have both oars in the water sometimes, However, I've never been around this many at the same time in the same place. I never make videos or lives every day. I've never done that. I can't. I got real life shit I got to get done. But I don't know. I'm starting to think I should probably take complete, like, not even listening for at least several days a week, because it's just it's disturbing. I mean, I don't know another word for it. And a lot of it is the fact that this is, the majority of this community, let's face it, it's women. And usually any more than two women together at a time, well, that's usually problematic. I wish it wasn't, but that's the reality of it is. So, but now you've got all these women together. They're all fighting for the attention of a few good men. Well, shitty men in this case. And my goodness, let me tell you something. I promise you, so much of this is the green-eyed monster. Ooh, there are some seething, jealous bitches. And they are not just jealous of channel size, super chats made per year. No, no, there's these people are a lot easier to read than they think they are. And it's not even really about, if you're not secure in yourself and you don't feel good about yourself, those are the women, well, the men too, but definitely women, who tend to really get twisted up and just real heinous because they're wildly insecure and they're threatened. I mean, that's just, I'm sorry. That's I'm not a shrink, but you don't need to be. So many of these women, I swear to you, like they cannot say anything nice about another woman. It's so sad because women should, whenever possible, hold each other up. To just always be in this just hateful, contentious environment, it's just not good. Oh, Lordy. Oh, I am. Don't be telling her that. Woo. I don't know. Some people really like that. No, I did that once and woo, that was enough for me. Alternative medicine, we're talking. All right, so enough of that shit. I promise you I did not plan on going on for an hour about all the nut bars of YouTube. And okay, so now for the funny stuff. And then at the end, I thought, well, you know what? I'm gonna pull up a little video of hey, literally Davis fam. I'm gonna pull up a little video of Miss Bullscorn Betty Something's going on with Betty. And after watching for a few minutes, as painful as that shit is, I think Betty, there is a distinct, the winds of change are blowing through Betty's broken off, severely rooted hair. Yeah, I think Betty, something's making Betty happy. Yeah, and I got thoughts on what that might be. Woo! I think Betty's getting her swerve on, getting her groove on. How Stella got her groove back. How Betty got her groove back. I'm just going to read the fair use now. We're not going to watch the video yet, but just so I don't forget. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Okay, well, now, oh, Lord. Oh, Liza. Oh, girl, I got my own experience with that, and I ain't looking to lose my eyelashes this early. Oh, now before I can tell you about the little list I've compiled here, I want to just put this out here because I've seen this. Who did I just see? I saw someone come in with a name I haven't seen before. Oh, to Kelly. Hi, welcome. I think something like that, because that miserable bitch hasn't smiled in, oh my God, I don't know. How long you think? Well, how long has she been on YouTube? It's been a while. I want to put this rumor to rest that I'm seeing everywhere. And after one of Betty's very short clips from today, I knew I was right. What is that rumor, you ask? Well, Betty's last two live streams that have, Glare did commentary and somebody else. Oh, Headstones and Headlines did some commentary from the one yesterday. And what do you think the rumor is that I keep hearing has something to do with Betty's appearance? Well, I've heard several people say, my gosh, did Betty get Botox? I can't even see that divot in her head. And I have to say, when I saw her yesterday, she was wearing the red t-shirt. We're going to look at a little bit of it in a bit here. I looked and I thought, well, my goodness, she does look better than she usually looks. And I saw she must have gotten Botox. I saw, what was another one I saw? New makeup. She got some rest. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Hold the phone. There's a couple of things I know about in this world, okay? And yes, I can give a court, and I am qualified to give an expert opinion on a few such subjects. Two are high heels, especially designer ones, and Botox. Yes, I have single-handedly helped pay the damn what's the one, I have single-handedly raised the gross domestic product of this country by my contributions to Allergan and Botox. And I said, oh, hell no, there is not enough Botox in this world Okay, this area right here, of course, mine is very smooth. This is called your glabella. A lot of times they'll call this the 11s. Some people just call them frown lines. Betty's glabella looks like somebody's used her head for hatchet throwing practice. She's probably got a 1-inch groove between her eyes. I said, hell no, there ain't enough Botox in the world. And there's not. And if there was, it would take, I'm trying to think of how many units, because Botox is done in units. It comes in the vial from the manufacturer. It's a powder, and it has to be reconstituted with saline. And they then draw it up in a syringe, however many units they want to use. So like I get my glabella, I get my crow's feet that I don't really have because I've gotten Botox for almost, well, 2 decades, maybe. I don't know, 15 years at least. But that's why I don't have crow's feet, because I'm not able to make those scrunchy marks. Hey, Nido. And then I have all of this done. So each area they draw up in the vial, however many units they're going to use. So this is a separate syringe. This is a separate syringe. This is a separate syringe. All of these are, well, I'm trying to think if it's one. At any rate, to do anything as deep as she's got would take, first of all, it would take multiple treatments. That would never be done in one sitting. There's no way in hell. So it would take multiple treatments, and I think they would have to even put filler in there, because it's so deep that they could improve the appearance of it. But what they could not do in that short period of time is fill all that in and make it look all nice and smooth like it was never there. Hell no. No way in hell. Hey, Constance Sue, how you doing? Hi, Voices, how are you? So that's a no. I knew by looking at her, I first said, oh, hell no, she's just got 85 filters on. And I'm sure she does. But I saw her this morning, and what do you think she was wearing in her, I think it was 4 minutes and 52 seconds, the clip. What ever-present wardrobe item do you think Betty was wearing? Hey, Kathy Clock the House, Luigi Lollipop. Kathy P, did I say hello to you, my friend? I saw you come in earlier. So what do you think she was wearing? What's her favorite wardrobe item that I drag her all the time for wearing? And by the way, not for nothing, it's hot as hell in Florida right now. I have my air on 70. And I put it lower if I could, but my husband's home and he's already wearing a parka. I'll give you a hint. It's red. It's her Hard Rock hoodie. Yes, she's wearing the ever-present Hard Rock hoodie. Shit, I just broke it out. Hold on while I open my goodie box. I usually keep an emergency super glue in here. But of course, now that I need it, this will be the one time that it's not in here. Oh, no, it is. There it is. Yeah, she had the Hard Rock hoodie on. I'm like, oh, God almighty, Betty, are you serious right now? And when you see her this morning, well, rest assured that her normal face is there looking like it always does. divots and all. So it not only is filters, it's no, it more than that. I think she's got like a my guess would be it's a Klieg light. She is being lit like friggin' Shea Stadium. Do y'all know what a Klieg light is? You do. You do know what it is. You just might not know that's the name of it. Okay, so back in like old school Hollywood. Oh, they even do it now sometimes at premieres. Out in front of, just picture Grauman's Chinese Theater in Hollywood. They are those giant lights that look like a kettle drum, and they spin, and you usually see them in the sky, and sometimes they'll cross like that. Yeah, so she looks like she's being lit by Klieg lights, which apparently, well, my goodness, if she could find a way to have Klieg lights, we'll travel. Oh my God, maybe she could find a date. So yes, the mystery of Betty's refreshed, smoothed glabella solved. I knew that bitch didn't get Botox. First of all, listen, she's too damn cheap. And I can tell you that the price of Botox constantly goes up. It is up to, excuse me, I go to a plastic surgeon's office, but it here in Florida, it doesn't matter where you go. Well, if you go to like where Molly Golightly probably goes, to a second-rate Medi Spa and a janky rundown strip center, you can probably get it there for, well, if you go to a plastic surgeon, it's $13 a unit. So, and as many units as she would need, and like I said, it would be done over time. If she started tomorrow, in the next year, that could probably be smooth and made to look probably 50% better, but she's gonna need filler there too, because no. And she's a cheap bitch. So no, Betty's. Oh, this I am. Yes, maybe she can call Mal's girl and get some bathtub silicone. Okay. So there you go. That mystery is solved. It's not the Klieg lights. No, it is the Klieg lights. It's not the Botox. All righty. All right, here we go. So, as promised, I have made my list of, Betty likes to scream at everybody about, oh, good Lord, I'm not about to have an unfortunate wardrobe malfunction. Betty likes to scream all the time about what I am a legal professional, I have a legal education. Nah, 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 nah. If you had a brain, you'd know that. Yeah, okay. So yes, we all know that Betty considers herself, an expert on the law and American jurisprudence. Hi, Montana Jade, how you doing? So I thought, well, I bet there are some legal things that Betty could definitely use her wide scope and breadth of legal knowledge to opine on. And of course, when one thinks of Bullhorn Betty and her brilliant legal mind, well, you of course are going to think of her convicted felon BFF, JLR. Ooh, too many 3-letter initials rolling around this place. So the following is a list of things that I think both of them can very intelligently and professionally opine on, whether they're things they could write perhaps a book about, the topic of a book, or you get it. Okay. Let's get this shit show started, shall we? After a little lipstick. For anyone who cares, this is Pat McGrath, Blitz Trance, and this is Fuchsia Perfect. I think it's Fuchsia Perfect. Okay. All righty. Number 1. The best recipes for making toilet bowl sangria, also known as Pruno. The most accurate pocket size scale. How to fake it till you make it. Tips for living well on the inside and out. Oh, which states have a study guide for the field sobriety test? Which state has the easiest field sobriety test? States with the most comfy holding cells, 4-star and above. Which jurisdiction's jails have the highest thread count sheets? Oh, the best objects to use when assaulting your spouse or partner. The ones that will leave like the least amount of physical evidence, like bruises and scratches and whatnot. Oh, mugshots for ugly people. Finding your best angle. How to do the perp walk like you're on a catwalk. Jail/prison inspired recipes. Make your favorite commissary items at home, like mofongo. And yes, that really is a thing. Look it up. Commissary cosmetics. How to do a full beat with one Kool-Aid packet. Fashion tips for the inside. How to rock orange and horizontal stripes. Turtle suits. Kung Fu Joes. And Skippies. And yes, Kung Fu Joes and Skippies are real prison vernacular for sneakers. How to get the best seat on the prison transport bus when, going back and forth to court dates. Hi, Boston Nick. How you doing? Feng shui your cell and make it feel like home. How to rule the cell block with intimidation and fear, sort of like you tried to do in the real world. Perfecting the art of quid pro quo, planning for your prison future. Oh, this is some of my better work. Oh my God. If anybody ever comes across my internet history, you're going to be this woman has issues. Hi, Monroe. Oh, back to the serious business at hand. The best cell blocks and how to get there, from chronic to ding wing and everything in between. And yes, chronic and ding wing are two actual prison slang for different parts of the prison. Eating well, making the best food choices during confinement, and how not to become a dump truck. And yes, that is an actual prison vernacular, the dump truck. That's a body type you get in prison after eating a lot of shit from the commissary. Effective communication for inmates. Kites are not just for flying. And fishing poles aren't just for catching fish. 2 more real prison things. Motivational workshop. and why being a convicted felon isn't the end of the world with special guest speaker JLR. Look on the bright side. That unfortunate oral hygiene issue is going to get solved, and it's going to be free. Put your second-rate education to use. Become the jailhouse lawyer you have always pretended to be. Party playlist, remix, ecstasy edition. Super chats to JPay. How to make your financial portfolio and assets on the outside work for you on the inside of prison. Financial marketplace. Rec yard diplomacy. How to find your protector on the inside and learn how not to get ho-checked. And finding your road dog. And yes, ho-check and road dog are real terms. Tutorial on how to navigate your new home and why the showers are the most dangerous place. Most coveted items in the commissary. Understanding the prison power structure. Let the RICO Act be your guide. Which soaps have the longest ropes? Perfecting your prison interview game to get your dream job on the inside. Bail bondsman with the lowest interest rates. And finally, the jurisdictions with the longest docket backlogs to drag Judgment Day out as long as possible. Oh, that's a wrap. Oh my God. Y'all, if you just need a good laugh one day, go look up prison slang. Yes, the ding wing. Well, the ding wing would be the mental. Oh, that would be where Jonathan was. Jonathan, were you were on the ding wing, weren't you? Yeah, he was. Ho-checked. Now, damn it, I can't remember what getting ho-checked means, but it's not good. It's not good. My God. Honestly, I was listening to her drone on this morning, and I'm like, who are these people? Hey, Zen11, how you doing? Who are these people that are so effing stupid? Because here's what I've discovered that Betty does. I know this is Betty's, it's her MO. I mean, once she's done doing her hundreds of hours of research. Has anybody told Betty there's only 24 hours in a day? Once she's done doing her hundreds of hours of research, Betty, if you are doing more than 100 minutes of research and you are still as stupid as you are and make as many mistakes as you do, Betty, come on, girl, you need to find a new jam, because this ain't it. So here's what she does. After doing hundreds of hours of research, she goes on the internet, looks like a lot of Fox News, Reddit. Bitch, are you serious right now? Reddit and Wikipedia. You get your news. You use Reddit as a news source. You know what I use Reddit for? When I want to look at pictures that you're not supposed to, like when the Murdoch autopsy photos were accidentally shown in court. Yeah, I admit it. I went to Reddit and I looked at them. And most of you did too. So that's what I use Reddit for. I mean, I don't use Reddit as like a journalistic source, okay? I just don't. And Wikipedia, no. So she goes and she does dumb people research. Oh, she actually quotes today an article in the Mirror, the London Mirror, which is, you know, we call it, like here, the National Enquirer. Do they even still have that? I used to love Star magazine. Theirs are a little bit different over there because they'll have like serious news and then a lot of gossip, and it's kind of, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there. They're slightly more, the way the content is a little bit different than it is here. But the Mirror, I mean, you may as well cite TMZ for a non-celebrity related, and don't get it twisted. Old Hardy Levin, I mean, if you need celebrity news, I absolutely go to them for that. So she goes to, you know, Reddit and Wikipedia, Fox News, and reads articles. She gets her morons that come in there, her dolts. She does her bullshit, you know, her devotional for the day. The language of letting go. I mean, I don't know, after you've had a couple restraining orders put on you and racked up a few in custody arrests, I mean, is that not enough language for you? Like that language didn't get you to let go? I mean, the bitch has been reading the same book for 15 years. So it says a lot about you if you're going to Bullhorn Betty for up to the minute legal information and analysis, because she doesn't know jack shit. She gets more wrong than she gets right. But so they come in there in the morning and she's just going to read some shit off the internet. She's going to give her dumb person interpretation of that while she's waiting for the whatever case she's exploiting and, you know, grifting and grinding for super chats. And by the way, can somebody tell me, why does YouTube allow? I mean, you telling me YouTube does not have a software, an AI that can catch people running the Chiron with their Venmo, their PayPal, their Cash App? I'm not, and this is not a commentary on cheating YouTube out of their money, but they are. Nobody likes to pay taxes, but none of us could have reached the potential audience that we can reach here on our own little server in our closet. No. So that's their tax. I don't understand why they allow shit like that to go on unchecked. I mean, I would think if I were Betty and I was an IQ challenged criminal with a record a mile long who couldn't get a real job at Taco Bell if her life depended on it, I don't know. I think that if YouTube gave me the ability to make money, even if I do have to give them 40% of it or whatever the cut is, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to say thank you so much. I'm not going to be like her true criminal scumbag nature is to do shit like that. That's how dumb she is. She's going to take the chance of losing the best grift she's ever stumbled across in her shitty life. And that's what this is. Make no mistake. So, I mean, I don't know, but if it's me, I'm not going to be right in front of their face, just shoving it up their ass while showing them how they're, it's like, God, I hate that. I can't, that is just such dirtbaggery. I can't stand it. But I also can't stand having to write a check to the IRS 4 times a year to, you know, to help pay for people like her. So that's all she does. She just abuses and uses other people's intellectual property, their work product. So she reads to these idiots because they're dumber than she is, apparently, which, my God, if that doesn't terrify you, please, I hope that they're not sharing the roads with all of us. I'm sure they are. So she, after reading someone else's researched material, she gives her dumb people interpretation of it. And then when these court cases are on recess for lunch or whatever the case may be, I think she goes and listens to real lawyers. I saw in a chat the other day that she was in The Lawyer You Know. And I will tell you, where he practices is just about 1 county away from her. That city is less than 2 hours away from her. Hour and a half, depending on the traffic. So she then goes and rips them off and takes what she hears them saying, and then she goes and sits in front of her audience like she's, oh, let me put on my thinking cap. Yeah, it's about this big. and she then just takes someone else's work product, intellectual property, and regurgitates it to her dumbasses. And that's what she does. I was in stitches listening to her. Mike, bounce Mike. Mike, I'm over you. Goodbye. I have let you come in here with your bullshit. You disrespect me. You disrespect my chat. It's done. It's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed it. You can watch from afar. Bye. Nice knowing you. What the hell was I saying before he just really pissed me off? God almighty. What was I saying? I know I said she takes other people's work product. Hey, I am. Are you still here? Yes, Monroe. Yes. Tell whoever's got a wrench, get him out. Mike Stevens. And you're not coming back, Mike. So go back to your ugly girlfriend, because you and I, you're not cheating on Betty with me anymore. You'll have to watch from afar. Oh, self-love. Listen, I gave him the courtesy that Betty would not have extended for 30 seconds. every time he comes in here, it doesn't matter how many times I have tried to talk to him. What I just said to him, that is the furthest off the deep end I have ever gone with him. I have always been nothing but accommodating. I have let him abuse my good nature. He's pissed off my chat. It's like he doesn't get it. It's very, and me being vain like I am, he knows how to. Oh, you're so beautiful. Yeah, you're right, Mike. Much more so than your first love, Betty. So sorry, you're just gonna have to love me from afar. Oh yeah. What I was saying, there was something. Oh yeah. Okay, so I heard her. I was listening to the Glare last night, and she thought that she was going to bullshit her way from a pleading called a demurrer. Demurrer. Basically, it's a pleading that asserts that the indictment is not, that it's insufficient, that the indictment is insufficient on its face. I'm not a lawyer. It's kind of a complicated thing to explain. I did look it up. I knew the word when I heard it because I have a real education from a state college, not a finance company. That, by the way, we don't even know that she actually went to that school. Because I'm going to tell you this. For someone who is supposedly educated in the law, she says a lot of shit that is absolutely wrong. Okay? It's just wrong. So I don't know that I believe she has any education, because you know what, Betty, usually people who are educated don't sound as dumb as you. So I don't know. I'm not buying it. But that is something that's out of my, I'm not about to sit here and try and explain it to you any more than I just did, and even that wasn't very, very good. So when I heard her start to think she was going to bullshit her way through that, I was like, oh, now this I want to see. Yeah, Monroe, I don't know. Who knows who he really is? There's no way. I know it wasn't Betty. I can tell you that, because she could never have. Oh, yes, I am. Don't worry about it. It's no biggie. Ain't nothing but a thing. But the fat lady has sung. Yep. So yeah, that's what she does. And she's managed to find people dumber than her who eat that bullshit up. Constance, I had always heard that. Someone did tell me that you called her college and they said she graduated, but man, that is shocking to me, because it's just very hard to believe that any institution would give any information on any student, former or present. It just seems. But listen, if that bitch told me water was wet, I'd question it. So okay, but yeah, she definitely looks like she's had a little bit of a, I don't know, like somebody's wetting her whistle. She's awful strangely chipper. So let's see. Oh, here we go. We'll just listen to a few minutes of this. I think, let's see, was this yesterday? Yeah. Okay. When I see that this absolute fucking criminal, she is a criminal. She couldn't get a real job if her life depended on it. She's got 42 entries in the civil and or criminal docket. So we have that. And there are 24,000 people, supposedly, who follow her. Well, Constance, I did oh, Luigi, 44? Huh. Is there something new since the credit card default? Constance, that school, I did a show several weeks back where I talked about Kaiser, and I actually read a little bit of an article from the New York Times from several years ago that talked about Kaiser was in this class of schools that were considered private colleges. So they could charge whatever they wanted to for credit hours. And up until recently, well, I can tell you this, when Kaiser was still considered a private college, Florida state schools did not accept the majority of their credits. I believe it was only when Kaiser, along with many of these other for-profit, at the time, private schools, the government said to them, because let's just say that a Florida state college charged $25 a credit hour. It's far more than that. I don't know what it is. So let's just say a Florida State College credit hour, 25 bucks an hour. Most college courses are 3 to 4 credit hours per course. Kaiser and schools like that were charging $100 a credit hour. So because it was so rampant, because what would happen is if you could fog up a mirror, as Heels in the Air likes to put it, these private schools, they would accept you. You didn't even have to have a high school diploma. And how did it go? They would make you, a lot of the people that would come in couldn't start taking, the core classes, and they were not on college level courses. So they would have to take all this remedial stuff, which of course they've got to pay for, and it doesn't count towards your degree. And it just so happened to be that they preyed on students who, for whatever reason, were not able and or willing to go to a state school. So whether it was because they didn't have a high school diploma, or a GED, or I don't know, maybe at that time, I don't know if our state colleges took GEDs. I know at one time, I think it was only a high school diploma. Or, maybe you were older and you were going to have to do a lot of, because state schools do it too, where you have to have, remedial, if you're not up to college level, but that's usually just with English and math. So they, you have to pay for it, but it's almost like you're auditing. You don't get the credit for it. Hey, Menace to Sobriety. and yes, it would very coincidentally, these private schools, well, they would own the finance company that would finance you at an interest rate that I promise you was probably right there at usury. I don't even know what the usury rate is right now, 23, 24, 25% maybe. And because this was running so rampant, but wait, there's more. Just like an infomercial. And this was the story with Kaiser. So Kaiser starts this little school, private school. Kaiser then goes and has all these subsidiary companies. One owned an airplane. One owned a textbook company. One owned a computer supply company. Kaiser then, how did this go? Kaiser sells the school to a relative who's got a subsidiary company, who then pays the first Kaiser owner rent on the land and buildings. Their employees were paying to live in a hotel they owned. So basically, naturally, the students are paying for all this. So they are getting you left, right, center, up, down, forwards, backwards. And eventually the federal government said the fraud was just running rampant. So the federal government said, here's the deal. You want to still be considered a private college? Because at the time they were doing it because they were exempt from the oversight by the government that, state schools have, state government. So they said, fine, go ahead and keep your private status and charge whatever you want. But here's the deal. 100% of your graduates are going to have to prove they have to be able to recoup the entire cost of their college education at your institution, and I believe it was within 3 years. Well, as you can imagine, a lot of schools got out of the private college business. And now Kaiser, I don't know what kind of, they are now considered, I guess they're public. I don't know, because it's been, listen, I haven't been in college in a very long time. But I can tell you this. I know many, many, many people who have gone to every college there is in Florida. Florida State, University of Florida, University of Tampa, although that's private, USF, USC, all state schools. I don't know anyone who's ever gone to one of those schools. And I know people from every socioeconomic, of all those people who've gone to college, in whatever school. I know them from, just making a good middle class to above average, upper middle class income, all the way up here to people who have sold their companies to Fortune 500 companies that I assure you, if I told you the names, you would recognize. So not one of them has gone to Kaiser College. So, Liza, what is this about? Hold on, I want to scroll up to the top to look at. Let me tell you all this, because I hear this a lot, this speculation about how BHB, people think she comes from money, or I've heard her say she grew up with a silver spoon in her mouth. Her people speculate that her daddy got her out of shit. Please trust me when I tell you this. And I don't say this because, listen, you all know I don't tell people about anything I have or don't have. That is not what I do. I've never shown you my closet. I've never shown you my garage. I've never walked you around my house. I don't do shit like that. I don't need to. I'm not here for that. There's plenty of people that do that kind of stuff. I don't do that for multiple reasons, not the least of which are safety reasons. And it's tacky. I don't have that kind of channel. This isn't a lifestyle channel, blah, blah, blah. But please believe me when I tell you this. She is nobody. Her father is nobody. And she did not grow up with a silver spoon in her mouth. And do you know how I know that? Because I know people and have grown up with them who grew up with platinum spoons in their mouth, okay? If she was anybody, if her family was anybody, I would know who she was. Now, I'm not claiming to know everyone in the state of Florida, but what I am telling you is that where she resides is within a few hours of me, and you're just gonna have to take my word for it, or don't. I don't really care. But I see this a lot about her. And well, Menace, then please don't, because I like you and I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you disappear. So I don't say any of that. It's got nothing to do with me, and that's not why I say any of that. But I'm saying it because I am very familiar with where she lives. I'm very familiar with several. Like I said, you're just going to have to take my word for it. She is nobody. Her family is nobody. She does not come from money. She does not have influence. Her family doesn't have influence. Not in those kinds of ways. Those. Oh, land barons. Yeah. Okay. Oh my, the dollar store logo. Oh, good God. I cannot keep up with this crap. Luigi, that is also correct. I think something that people don't, and it's a good thing, but if you have never had, either experience in the law and the court systems, because you're not a criminal like she was, call it whatever you want. I think one thing people really do have a hard time understanding, and me as well, and I know how all this works. It is very true that every county in this country, their budgets are extremely constrained. And it costs a lot of money to prosecute cases. They almost always try and plead out, especially piddly little things. And that is not to say that her knocking around her, did she punch the mother and strangle the ex or vice versa? I'm not trying to minimize in any way what she did. I truly am not. But in the big scheme of things that the courts need to worry about, her gross, white trash, skanky behavior, she is not at the top of the food chain. She's just not. They truly do not want. Every district attorney has a boss. They are ADAs, assistant district attorneys. either the state's attorney or the district attorney is their boss. And everybody is accountable to somebody higher up. And they do not prosecute cases that they do not think they have a very good chance of securing a conviction. That's it, plain and simple. It's not because that dumbass has any influence anywhere. It's because she's been a a low level, kind of like her, low class, low level offender. There's a million of her rolling around. Oh, yes, Luigi, trials are incredibly expensive. And none of these, nobody has money in the budget. They really don't. Because think about it. Oh, Jerry Springer died? Let me tell you something. I remember back in the day. It was back in my when I used to indulge in the devil's lettuce. Yep. I had a job where I worked night shift, and I would indulge in the devil's lettuce while watching Jerry before going to work. Oh. Menace to sobriety. Listen, I'll go further back than that. Who remembers Morton Downey Jr.? He was the OG. Wise guys here. How you doing? Ooh. Let me read that again. Has anyone wondered if her sister is a daughter she couldn't? I don't know a thing about her sister except that all I've ever heard is that she's a reporter and that she's a lovely woman. And isn't that interesting? Menace, you just actually gave me something to think, or wise guys, you actually gave me something to think about there, because it is rather interesting, isn't it? Now, you think about this. This is a bitch who thinks it's a flex to advertise her, however one-sided it may be, her love, her deep love for her convicted felon friend, JLR. Like, she tells you that shit every chance she gets, which, yeah, right there, that just confirms how dumb she really is. So I do find it interesting that she's got a sister who's actually a legit, real reporter. So yes, it is rather interesting that you never, ever, ever. I've never heard her mention her sister. Has anyone else? Oh, it's a half sister. Oh, did he have cancer? Jerry Springer? Constance, that's probably very true. Listen, I'm telling you, her county is a pretty big county. And she's a low-level criminal. I mean, when you're like you and me and everybody else that doesn't have 42 entries in the criminal and or civil docket, we look at those things and it's like, oh my God, how does she keep doing shit like this? But seriously, sit back and think about this, and think about all the big time criminals, people who have committed the ultimate crime or close to it. And just think about how much criminal history they've had leading up to that. And people are saying the same things. Well, why wasn't he stopped back in insert year when he did insert crime? Same type of thing. It's It's the piddly, low-level stuff. To normal people like us, we think she's got a very impressive record. But for people who are in the trenches, dealing with shit and trash like her every day, she's small potatoes. And yeah, they're not going to waste the money. If they don't have, it's got to be an absolute lock. Hey, Prissy, how you doing? I don't know, Constance, but what I do know is what I told you. I promise you, if she really came from any kind of family with any, you know, she is not the only person who claims to have, I'm a lifelong Floridian. My parents were almost their lifetime in Florida. I promise you, if she was anybody, I would know. I'd be able to find out who she was. Well, I would already have some idea of who she was, but I mean, the people I'm thinking of, Betty would be parking their cars or mowing their grass. Like that's and that is not a dig at anybody who's parking cars or mowing grass. I'm just saying, in her own little mind, she might think that, I mean, to be quite honest, I think in Betty's mind, you grew up with a silver spoon in your mouth if you got 3 meals a day. I mean, I think that's probably her bar to be considered having a silver spoon. I mean, it's not mine. Oh, menace. Exactly. Oh, I can't even tell you. Let me tell you something. My mom, it would start with the phone call. Well, first it would be a text message and it would say, I need to talk to you. And I'd know right then and there that she was not happy. And then, of course, I'd blow her off until the end of the day. And I would call and she would say, what is this thing you're doing? So-and-so told me that they saw you or their daughter or son saw you on YouTube and you were doing what? And then it would be, no. Wear a wig. Use a different name. You need to be in disguise if you're going to do that kind of stuff because you are embarrassing me. I don't want my friends talking about it when I'm in the clubhouse at the country club after playing 18 holes. I mean, that's just the reality of it. If I even thought about anything like, I mean, it just would, that's another way you know that she doesn't come from anything, because people who truly come from a decent background, and by decent I don't mean money, but decent families and just hardworking, normal, decent people would never. Now, her mom might not be able to stop her from doing anything. But she participates in it. That's a whole nother matter. And I know what things my mom would say to, obviously I'm a grown woman and my mommy does not support me, but my mom can be quite persuasive. And even though she could not force me to stop doing it, I can promise you I'm not going to share some of the things that she would use as motivation, but believe me when I tell you that, there are we have ways to make you talk or ways to make you stop talking. By the way, I loved your video yesterday. What was it titled? The one in the beginning with the like the astronaut in the spacesuit doing, and it was, there's like skyscrapers on the side. I love that. Very good. I was laughing too. Constance. Yeah, but Constance, I look at you as like a reporter, honestly. I mean, you always say you're documenting for historical recording. I mean, that's what I see. I don't really see you throwing. I mean, you do throw in your take on things, but my God, we all do. You wouldn't be hell. How would you not? Night Owl, I absolutely believe that. When they grow up in a dysfunctional family, they can't recognize normal. Oh, yeah, I don't think she's. Listen, clearly she grew up in dysfunction. I mean, come on. No, Menace, I beg to differ. In fact, it probably didn't go far enough. I mean, not that that's my call to make, but I'm pretty sure I called him a predator. But in my opinion, he is. He's a predator in the sense that he repeatedly gets caught soliciting nudes from women, and that should not be taking place on here. That should be taking place on his Grindr or his Tinder, whatever the case may be, because I don't know what he gets down with, nor do I care. But I'm just reading the chat, you guys. Oh, Betty. Yeah, geez. Sorry, I got sidetracked. And we're not going to watch her long, just for a minute. Oh, yeah, just because I want you guys to give me your take and tell me what you think accounts for her sudden. My God, she's almost pleasant. I think somebody's got a new friend. Oops. Hold on. Present.
Guys, I decided to go early. I don't have all the other media set up on Restream, but I figured we'd try Restream, see if the picture quality is a little better for the trial. Good morning, everyone. So I'm just going to check it out and see what we can kind of come up with. And you're going to see me kind of look up at the screen every now and again because
notice how
I'm just
bright
checking
it is
to make
behind
sure that we have a crystal clear color. And I'm finding that we're having more of a crystal clear color with Restream. So,
translation.
I am using their
translation. Well, with Restream, my goodness, I seem to have gotten rid of my glabella where it looks like someone repeatedly used that mark for hatchet throwing practice. Yes, it's definitely like a whole different, that and 47 layers of every filter there is. Oh, running bear. I have my own thoughts on why she cannot brush that hair. And that's because that hair cannot take any stress at all. And I mean, can you imagine? Honestly, look at that. In fact, I wrote down that Betty looks more and more like Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, every day. And she does. I'm sorry. And that ain't a compliment. Yeah, that's, God, I just, oh, Constance. Well, that's a good, Oh, wise guys. Booze palsy. Ooh. Oh, you know what? Since you mentioned that, I mean, I'm not accusing her of anything. Menace, tell me I'm wrong. I grew up in the Gordon Soley era of wrestling. And yes, I was a fan. I know it's hard to believe by looking at me that I was into wrestling, but I was, my God. And Dusty Rhodes, The American Dream, my brother and I used to watch. Was it called the Gordon Soley Show? No, but it was back in that time. It was Dusty Rhodes. Oh, give me a minute and I'll think of some more. I mean, this was before even Hulk Hogan. Yeah, I think that look at her eyes. That's all I'm going to tell you. Look at her eyes. I have never seen her. I've never seen her pupils look to be typical size. They are always pinpoints. And she's awful chipper. I don't know. Oh, yeah, Menace. Well, they might have been. I can tell you exactly what year it was. It was, I wasn't in middle school yet. So let's say it would have been like 1980 to 82, maybe. Which would have put me in, well, I was born in 70. So, oh, yes, Betty. But yeah, Betty's, you know, I think there can only be a couple things to account for her, you know, well, for the longest time, I said it was a 360. And my husband one day is like, honey, you know, it's a 180, right? I'm like, what? Geometry? Yeah, I know it's just a circle, but I don't know the damn area of a friggin' triangle either. I do remember a right angle is 90 degrees. And that's the one that looks like half a tent. Yeah, to me, when someone has a complete change of demeanor, I'm talking from, you know, here to here, there's only a few things that can account for that. So I don't know, maybe she's high on love. Maybe she's got a boyfriend. Maybe something else. I don't know. I mean, I'm not accusing her of anything. I'm just plainly stating that her pupils are always pinpoints. But I'm sure there's plenty of things that can cause that besides illicit things.
That's why we have, is it that way up there, the corner, Restream emblem on here as opposed to the Bullhorn Betty logo. So at the end of the day, good morning, everyone. I know we're starting late. We usually start around 6:30 in the morning and go until about 8:30. Yeah. But here, you know, on the trial days, especially where the trial's in a Central Standard Time versus an Eastern Standard Time.
Do you think Bets did the walk of shame last night? Maybe she just rolled in. No, never mind. I'm not going to say that. Never mind.
And so they're 2 hours behind us. So with their weather issues that they had come in last night, the judge decided to start the trial today at 10:30, which is East Coast time, for 12:30.
Yeah, no,
and
you
trying to have 6 hours of commentary before a trial is quite difficult, if I say so myself. It is very difficult. But today, of all days,
difficult if she says so herself. Words, English, legalese, what? Good Lord. I just, well, the Irish chick. What did she say that she does, if I say so myself? I mean, Betty, most of us do not have to get our fucking abacus out to subtract 2 or add 2 to 10 or vice versa, whatever the hell. Oh my God,
I probably could have done it.
Do you think Betty sleeps in those hula hoops? Because, oh my goodness, something bad could happen. Betty, I do not recommend sleeping in hula hoops. Oh, no.
I probably could have done it
Like
because
running with scissors.
it's kind of funny, we go for a really long time with no response, nothing going on in the Koberger case, nothing really going on. We have a few trials.
She talks like this is some kind of I don't know, a football game or something. It's like she's, maybe it's just because I can't stand her. Maybe I'm nitpicking at her. But I don't care. She's a bitch.
But nothing really going on that's notable or newsworthy.
So kind of like
at the present time that our audience is eager to learn about.
Her partial
at the end of the day, it's about our audience.
Her her underbite. Wait, she have an underbite or an overbite? Underbite. I used to have a Lhasa Apso, and that dog was always like that, and that's what that's what her partial reminds me of. I hate it. It looks like it belongs in someone else's mouth too.
Yes. And so, we're doing this trial, but then all of a sudden, boom, 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 just stuff starts just hitting. We have this
boom, 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 stuff starts hitting. I think Betty got laid. I mean, and might I say, sir, whoever you are, my God, thank you for taking one for the team. I believe that's what we call beer goggles. Or a full-on damn scuba suit. Boom, boom, boom. Do you think this is all just a damn metaphor for her non-existent romantic life? It was boom, boom, boom. We haven't had anything going on in a while. I mean, it's like we are talking about a murder trial. Obviously it's not here yet, but let's see, single, double, triple. What is that? Quadruple? A quadruple homicide. And she's all boom, boom, boom. I mean, even when she's not saying offensive shit, her flippant attitude, it's like
Bethany Funk, material witness affidavit, which we've discussed. And now we're starting to hear some rumors about why the defense might
She's
be so inclined to call her as a witness for the defense.
Tell me. I need you guys to put your thoughts in the chat, okay? I need you to tell me what you think is wrong with her here, because she is not acting like Betty. Well, Menace, at least now she's a woman of means. So, as long as you take super chats. Hi, Allison. Nick, I think so too. That's my assessment of the situation. Either that or the bitch won the lottery, and I don't think it's that. Well, I don't know. That kind of is like winning the lottery for her. Oh God. Oh, what is this running bear? Media not giving her news stories. That's the problem with TP. What's TP? Not only affecting the courts, but tragedy pimps. But real credentialed media pisses me off. National news is hard to get. Yeah, but you know what? It's up to every jurisdiction that this skank goes to, masquerading as press, media. I mean, I can wear a shirt that says supermodel and crystals, but I'm 4'11", so nobody's going to believe it. And I'm almost old enough to get Social Security, so you know, it's going to take all these different entities to stop humoring their bullshit, because real credentialed media does not mean, and here's the thing, that doesn't mean that law enforcement doesn't get to designate exactly who gets to come into their pressers and briefings. Just because some dumbass calls himself media press, that doesn't mean they have to let you in. I mean, I don't remember anymore. Constance probably knows more about it than I do, but at one time I did look up Associated Press and one of the other big organizations that issues credentials. And they, they had like an FAQ page where they talk about that just because you have these credentials does not mean that law enforcement has to honor them. I mean, most of these law enforcement, wherever they're holding these pressers, they can only accommodate so many people. It's not like they have to let in every single person who's there with a badge. They pick and choose.
Preliminary hearing, which again is not a mini trial. It is to show the sufficiency of the probable cause.
I want you to watch her when she starts saying some of these things she's saying, because I'm pretty sure that what she does, she goes and listens to Lawyer probably Emily D. Baker. There's Law and Lumber. There's a couple more that are huge. Ricada Law. My guess is she listens to one or more of them, and you can just always tell when she's saying something from what I believe is something she's memorized. It's not a spontaneous, off the cuff, like when I tell you guys legal things. Of course, I don't pretend that I'm a lawyer and that I know everything. The law is very complicated. It's very nuanced in many circumstances. Lots of things are left open to interpretation. There are still elements of common law. That's why you have to go to law school, and not every dipshit like this hot ass trash mess in front of you wants you to think that, I don't care if she did. Oh, and another thing, I can't speak for every state, but I can tell you in Florida, there's no such thing as being a registered paralegal.
And the arrest. And you've got this, they do have another option available to them, which is the grand jury. And it is possible that they will be calling on a grand jury, sometime in May.
Listen to that.
According to some of the sources out there that kind of know how this stuff works, at least in Idaho.
Okay, did you hear what she just said? I'm going to read something to you. Now, what she just said was, at least when I heard it, this is how I took it. What I just heard her say is, well, the grand jury, when they meet in May, So I was curious because I don't believe a thing her dumbass says where the law is concerned, or anything else for that matter. So I just thought, you know what? I want to go look for myself. That's exactly what I did. So I went to Idaho 4th Judicial District Court, and this is what it says about the grand jury. Oh, wait a minute. That's not the one I want. isc.idaho.gov. Idaho Criminal Rule 6, dealing with formation of the grand jury. Subsection B, summoning grand jury. Oh, hold on a minute. When? Hold on. I knew I should have taken a screenshot of that. Oh, okay. Here it is. All right. Did she not just make it sound like in May they could present at the grand jury? That's what I heard. Now, there are states where grand juries only meet, or counties, I should say, within states, where the grand jury only meets at certain times. I used to know when Hawkins County, Tennessee was, because I had to school another one of YouTube's most ignorant bitches, Prayer Garden of America. And I looked that up and made her look like an idiot that she is. Well, here is what the state of Idaho Judicial Branch, the Supreme Court, Rule 6, subsection B, summoning grand juries. On motion by the prosecuting attorney to summon a grand jury, a district judge assigned by the administrative district judge may order that a grand jury be impaneled within any county of the judicial district at such time as the public interest requires. Which I read to mean they can impanel the grand jury anytime. It doesn't have to be, there's not something special happening in May. But see, she doesn't do even the most basic thing that I just did. That is why I think, oh, hey, oh, well, Real Lady Justice, perfect time. That's why I said, I believe that she parrots, she doesn't do the slightest bit of her own anything. She just listens to other people and spits it back at you. So, all right. So was that right or was it not right? This is absolutely repeating what the real attorneys have opined. She is wrong about the grand jury in May. However, if grand jury, there will be no prelim. This will shut down defendant getting discovery. Oh, and here's another one. I wouldn't be surprised if now that additional attorneys requested from AG office, they get a grand jury, then the job of prosecution easier, no discovery. So who is correct? Now I'm confused. Okay, so I was correct about what? That they can impanel the grand jury at any time? Not that I'm some rocket scientist. I just, just a little bit of that. It's like she won't do the slightest. This is why she makes me crazy, because when I know that things she are saying is absolute bullshit, and she just, I just, as a lawyer, I don't know how you even deal with her, because I come unglued just with I don't want to say, you know what I'm saying. I don't want to say anymore, because I try not to give her any information on me that she could. Okay. Real Lady Justice says, you, meaning me, are correct. It is on request. May is what she is saying, because prelim is in June. She's guessing. Yeah, like with everything. And it's like, that's such a simple thing. I just really wish that all these law enforcement agencies and anyone else who has pressers and allows members of the real media in. She is not the media, and neither is JLR. And nobody has to honor their bullshit credentials. And I just wish that all of these, I'm hoping that we are finally getting to the point where all of their bad, shitty behavior is going to precede them wherever it is, wherever these tragedy pimps find the next one. I actually saw her. Did we watch it? I don't think we did. Did I see it on headlines and headstones? I'm not sure. But she actually said, as she's grifting for her next Idaho trip, well, if the channel raises whatever it was she said, and it was not an insignificant number, I'll pony up for the rest of it. Bitch, you don't have shit. Pony up. Like, she thinks that it makes me crazy that people think that they have to pay her to then give them wrong information, because that's all she does. Oh God. Oh my God. Oh, sorry. My sciatic nerve is, it's shocking me right now. Oh, Real Lady Justice, I cannot imagine. Supreme Court harem. Real Lady Justice, I would love to have you on one day to go point by point, maybe in a stream, like something she's done very recently. I would love to do that. Just like I'm doing here. Stop, start, stop, start. I don't know if you can do that, if you want to do that. But in the event that you do, and you would not have to come on camera at all. Yeah, if you would like to. That's what I don't think you were in here yet when I was saying that the law is really complicated. It is. It's nuanced. It is hard to understand, even for people who are even a little bit educated in it, and real attorneys who've been practicing for years. I mean, it's one of those things where you're like always learning. Betty loves the buzzword precedent. It grinds my gears so badly. to even think that, I mean, I just don't know how dumb you have to be to think that okay, well, Real Lady Justice, I'm going to put actually just use Crimes and Fashion at protonmail.com, because Proton has got .com and something else, but it's Crimes and Fashion at protonmail.com. And I would love to do that. I think that would be amazing. As long as you want to do it, 5 minutes, 5 hours. No, neither one of us want to do it 5 hours, but you know what I'm saying. I would love to do that. I think each case is different, and each judge, prosecutor, and defense have their own quirks and methods. This is what makes it hard to predict. When I get a new client, I tell them, let me find out judge first. Yeah. It's just, I mean, to me, it's dangerous what she does. It is, and I just wish there was, she's so juvenile. I just don't know how you get to be the age that she is and not understand. I mean, my God, even people who've never had a run-in with the law, they've never been sued, they've never done more than watch a trial on TV. Even those people understand that, you know, unfortunately, we have a lot of crime in this country, and court dockets are clogged up. We don't, there are procedures. I've said many times, what she doesn't get, because, you know, she doesn't think anything applies to her. She's, you know, she's special. She colors outside the line. She plays by her own rules. Well, everything in the law is governed by procedures and codes, and everything has a way it's got to be done from start to finish. And this business about, you know, dogging law enforcement all the time, and it's disgusting. I hate how she takes her very juvenile outlook on everything, and it's funny because she can't seem to make her mind up. Like in Quinn Simon's case, it was now, arrest her now. You've got this, you've got that. She's on double probation. Yeah, and let me just dispel with that notion too. Listen up, Betty, you dumb bitch. I don't know what the hell double probation is, but I'll be sure to look it up in my Black Law Dictionary when I get off of here. But what I do know is this. Apparently, Leilani was on probation for some offense. I believe she stole a jar of coins or something, or maybe that was what she did when she was already on probation. Whatever the case may be, both things were relatively petty in the big scheme of things. So while you've got dedicated, professional law enforcement that is digging through millions of pounds of trash looking for this baby, and this dumbass is jumping up and down and screaming, telling Chief Hadley and every person out there searching that they're not doing enough and arrest her now. You've got, she's violating probation. It was interesting because here's how I know Betty listens to I mean, I don't know how she picks and chooses who she listens to, but I do know that when she all of a sudden does a 180 with the way she's speaking about something because of something that one of us has dragged her fat ass for, well, that tells me that she's listening. And quite interestingly, I took her to task for Miss Legal Professional here as she was railing and carrying on about why didn't they arrest Leilani? She was on double probation. She couldn't pass a piss test. That's what she said more than once. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm a lady. And while I have no problem saying, that really pissed me off, what I never say in front of anyone, most especially all of YouTube, when I'm wearing my, let's play pretend legal professional hat, when speaking about a dead baby, there's never a time when I say she couldn't pass her piss test. No, because that's how white trash people like you talk. So I said, that's so unprofessional. If you're a professional, I'm sorry, I've never heard no one who's a professional speaking in a professional capacity, as you were to your drooling, mouth-breathing, knuckle-dragging audience. Yeah, you were in your car with your pretend lawyer hat on, your legal professional. Yeah, Betty. Oh, your education, it shows where you got it from, if you even have it. Oh, hippie. Hi, how are you? First of all, and yes, double dog dare you. She is like stuck in, she's Beavis and Butthead, just not as good looking. She is Beavis and Butthead. Like, she's so juvenile. Her vernacular is juvenile. Her insults are juvenile. Her whole physical appearance is juvenile. Betty, it's Florida. It's frigging hot. Take your Hard Rock hoodie off, sweetie. Go get you some big girl clothes. But after I drug her for speaking in a professional capacity and saying that Leilani couldn't pass her piss test, well, all of a sudden, it might have been this stream, as a matter of fact, she used the word urinalysis at least twice. So I know she listens. Now, I don't know if she's got one, she does. She has a staff full of very hardworking, brilliant minions who, I don't know if she assigns them certain people to listen to and then report back to the big boss. But like I said, when somebody does a 180, it makes me sit up and take notice. Kind of like her whole demeanor this morning is not like usual. But where I was, well, hell, I don't even remember where I was going with all that. Where was I going with all that? Shit, it'll come to me, maybe. And if not, it doesn't matter. A few more minutes, then we're going to wrap it up.
So before we get too far into it, we've got a lot to cover this morning, I can tell you, and it's a lot of great information as well. But I do want to stop and just say good morning to a few people that were here. And let me see if I can go ahead and put the chat late.
Oh, God, headstones. Here. I need you to tell me.
See how that works. It'll be about 20 seconds before I can see that. So good morning, Kathy S. She was one of the first that said good morning to Bullhorn Betty in chat. Okay, so it does go up on the screen. I don't know if I like that or not. I don't know if I like that. I'm going to take that off. Okay. Good morning. So let me go back to the top. So we have Jennifer L. ZA.
What's her name?
We have a lot of people here this
morning.
We have already 127 people in the chat. So if you guys have not had an opportunity, please consider giving this segment.
Fire. When I saw her stream this morning, I don't know what time it was, but she had 76 people in there. Yeah, headstones. Just Samantha. I heard you the other day make a comment about just Samantha. Oh, just Samantha's usually the first one in the door.
A thumbs up. It helps our algorithm and keeps us moving through people's
I like this one better.
Dashboards and things like that. So the more it does equate to that, but it's not a necessity. I mean, at this point, Bullhorn Betty has a household name. Some people love me, some people hate me.
Do
but
not
either way, everybody knows
have
me.
a
That's a good
household
thing.
name. Nobody loves you. I know for one, I would be in the former, not the latter, of that statement. Who does she like? Betty, I don't know if you need a Thorazine drip. I don't know what's going on with you, Pumpkin, but you are not a household name. You're not. You're not famous. You're infamous at best. You need help. You need you need therapy. You need to throw away the language of letting go. And you need to find something more along the lines of what to do when the little voices in your head start screaming. Yeah. Betty, you're not a household name, honey. I mean, that is one of the funniest things I think I've ever heard her say. Oh God, I'm a household.
It's not really important for these
maybe Section 8 households. I don't know, but not any households.
Thumbs up, but it does show appreciation. So any appreciation you'd like to show, that is awesome. ZA, Kathy, Jennifer, Gigi for life, Pebbles. We've got Unicorn in the house. Karen Davis, good morning.
Good morning.
Ola De
Betty,
I don't know who you are. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but good morning. Good morning. Nice to see you here this morning. Who else do we have? Okay, I don't know how to pronounce these names either. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
So we have some people up in the house this morning. So I just a blanket good morning to everybody else. I know you guys like me saying your names and stuff like that, but because we're on a time constraint this morning, and we do know that the trial most likely will be starting right at 12:30 our time. I already plugged in, and the WebEx is already set up. So the idea that this is not going to go forward or has some kind of major issue that's going to prevent the trial from moving forward today doesn't appear that it's going to happen.
Betty, you do realize, don't you, that up to the minute before it's supposed to start, something could happen. I'm sure you would think it was some kind of like a personal conspiracy against our household name Bullhorn Betty here, but there's any number of things that could happen. I don't know why anybody who's had any experience in the law, even if you've just had a damn divorce, you know that things can change and get rescheduled on a dime for all kinds of reasons. They don't have to give you a reason.
So the weather wasn't bad enough to stop this trial. So it will be going on.
Thank God.
But first to start out, we'll just start out with the language of letting go briefly. This is practice diplomacy. And then we're going to jump right into some of the information related to Bethany Funk, followed by the court hearing related to the media that took the case to the second DCA in Idaho for them to
now, what's funny is I wonder if she actually could even tell you what the second DCA is. I mean, I would think that she could, but I don't know, because I mean, with her, there's so many little things that I pick up on with her that in and of themselves are not, flag waving. But when you take so many of these things together, just like I knew when she said that bullshit about, oh yeah, well, the grand jury. People, what'd she say? People who seem to know about these things. They said when the grand jury might meet in May. I knew that she was just repeating something she heard. And like you saw, it took seconds to get that information. So exactly, Night Owl. I mean, there is no one that knows who she is. Betty, honey, you ought to do yourself a favor and why don't you go play? You should play psychiatrist. That's what you should play. This lawyer thing, the world's got plenty of lawyers. We don't have enough shrinks. Because boy, maybe it would be fun. I think I tried to get my own copy of the DSM, the latest one. I'm going to write that down. Maybe it would be fun to just play. We could play pretend psychiatrist. And I could look for some pretend diagnostic or some real diagnostic codes. Not in any kind of effort to diagnose Betty, because I don't play at being anything. But it would be kind of fun. I'm sure she doesn't have insurance either, so we probably don't need any insurance codes. Oh, DS. I'm going to look into that again. I know I looked into it at one time and I got sidetracked. I still haven't remembered. Oh, Constance. I don't know about what medication makes your eyes bug out. My guess would be a stimulant of some kind. And I know there are many things that can, cause your pupils to become constricted. Maybe it's the Klieg light that she's lovingly staring into. I do know I've rarely seen her so flow. Well, chat, I would say those are all very good guesses. Good guesses. I'm just not going to say them out loud because, I'm not looking to have to write Betty any kind of checks. But, oh, I know. She is. Yeah, she is something else. Betty, honey, here's just a little thought from me to you. I promise you this, Betty. Just know that this statement is true, much as it's going to hurt you to hear it. There is exactly nobody who thinks you are as important as you do. You are irrelevant, unattractive, poorly spoken, IQ points challenged. You just sit to the left of Farrell and the right hand of Satan. And Farrell, I don't mean Will. No, more like a poor, unfortunate, angry cat. Yeah, Betty. I really do believe they probably do make several medications for what ails you. And a lot of them are probably very pretty. I mean, I don't know. I don't take them, but I'm sure you could. Gosh, Betty, this could all just be an under medicated issue. Oh my God, headstones. Betty, much like her legal education, she also DIYs her hair. And I would say that the state of the roots is most likely attributable to the same things that have caused the entire unfortunate mess, which is using bucket o' bleach like it's shampoo rather than, finger painting. Yeah, Betty just, what's that old expression? Just throw the kitchen sink at the wall and see what sticks. Well, she threw the bucket of bleach at her dome, and it stuck, and then it burned, and then the burn melted, and now, ooh, yeah. I promise you this. Do y'all remember the last time? And then I have to take her off the screen. I can't. Do y'all remember the last time that we talked about when Betty decided that she wanted to be taken more seriously, so she was going to color her hair. She was going to become a brunette. Well, Betty, I'm pretty sure that I have the color hair that you thought you could give yourself. No, I believe I said that this hair, all the years I've worn this hair, well, I did say at first that I've got more than what your car is worth in this hair color, but my goodness, it might be what your house is worth now that I think about it. But yeah, you being taken seriously, it's got jack shit to do with the color of your hair. There was something else. Oh, damn it. See, now I'm just like, I'm fading fast because I can't remember. I get halfway there, I get sidetracked, and then I forgot to go all the way back to where I was. It was something about that damn hair. She wanted to be a brunette. Oh, what I was gonna say is, do you remember when she said that the hairdresser said something to her, and then all of a sudden Betty, oh, I think I want to become a brunette because I want to be taken more seriously. As if her hair color is the problem. But I guarantee you that whoever did that hair, because my guess would be she went into a very small, independent, like, not, I don't think they do color at Fantastic Sam's or Great Clips, but I think she went into, thank you, Running Bear, that's very sweet. I think she probably went into just a small, independently owned salon. And I think that it was probably time to pay the rent on the salon. There was probably 1, 2 at best stylists in there. The one probably didn't want anything to do with it. If there was 2 of them, the owner said, listen, I gotta pay the rent, and no, we need to take this client. Just be careful. Or if it was a one woman show, same scenario. I can tell you what my hairdresser said when I showed her Betty. And I have got to remember to find that damn audio recording. I'm going to find it. I'm writing it down. She said, when I said to her, what would you charge her if she walked in the door? And she said, no, I wouldn't take her. Because my hairdresser has been a hairdresser for 40 some odd years. I go to an all organic salon, believe it or not. She's at the point in her career where she doesn't take cases like Betty. She doesn't have to. She doesn't have to take anybody she doesn't want to. And, much like where I am with my business, I only take people who are incredibly easy to work with, that because I don't have to do it anymore. So I think she was told, listen, that your hair, I'm going to do your roots, but you have destroyed your hair, and you cannot ever again just put straight bleach all over your head and, think you're going to wash that gray right out of your hair. No, you will be bald. And she's a cheap bitch by her own account. And oh my God, I just lost my lash. Jesus. I hope that lash wasn't. Okay, well, I can't sit here with one, so off they both go. So yeah, I think they said to her, no, you cannot ever do that again. And now she's got growth that high because she's too cheap to go get it done. But I think she does believe that, well, shit, but she will. She knows better than everybody, no matter what it is, whether it's the law, whether it's journalism, whether it's bleaching her hair. I promise you, nobody knows as much as Betty. So yeah, she'll do it again. She's gonna be bald. I mean, of that, I promise you. All of this shit. You can tell where the hair, okay, so that if that's the root, and then maybe the shortest breakage, because those ain't layers, folks, that is all breakage. So whatever the shortest breakage is, that's what it all needs to be hacked off to, because all of this crap below the shortest breaking point, it is all melted. It's dead. It's not coming back. I don't know how many times. Like, I don't know why she's holding up. Well, I mean, I kind of understand. I would not want to do it. But here's the reality of it is she has to do it. It's dead and it's not coming back. There's no Olaplex. There's no hot oil treatment. There's nothing. Nothing is going to save that hair. So the longer that she hangs on to it, the more it's breaking. And she's just prolonging the inevitable. That's all she's doing. And then she'll continue to damage the shorter pieces that have already broken off. So. Oh, Constance, I promise you. Okay, have any of y'all ever had, whether it's like yoga pants or even something like a top, something that was made out of spandex and not the greatest quality spandex, and maybe you burned it up in the dryer, or like if you are naughty and you put your unmentionables in the dryer and you just burn them up in the dryer all the time. Well, you know how like spandex it's elastic. The fibers are honestly like very thin, like a dry rotted rubber band. I promise you. Headstones, I have not. Did you see the new shoes someone got her to wear on the swamps? No, but I have a feeling I wouldn't wear them, would I? I don't go in swamps. There is not a damn thing that is getting me in a swamp. No, ain't happening. Sorry. Buried treasure. I don't give a damn. You tell me there's a damn treasure box of diamonds. Nope. Send Betty in. I'll split them with her. They were as hideous as her hair. I don't find that hard to believe. Yeah, but that is literally what that hair has got. Constance, to answer your question, I promise you, where her hair is absolutely at its weakest moment is when it's wet. When she gets out of her weekly shower, or I'm sorry, Betty does not look to me like someone who has good hygiene. She just doesn't. And I don't say that to be mean. I say that because I think it's true. Look at how she presents herself. She doesn't give a shit. I have never known a woman who was not homeless who had so little pride in her appearance. And it's got nothing to do with makeup. It's got a little bit to do with her clothes. I mean, I am never going to think or expect Betty to do what I do, okay? I'm not. But there's a, if this is me and her, there's a whole lot of space between these two things. And she wears the same clothes over and over and over. They don't look clean. They're not, she's a mess. She's always a hot mess. She has absolutely no personal pride. And for a woman, well, let's just say this. I don't know one woman who is mentally well and physically well who has as little personal pride. T-Pack a uniform. Oh no, she'd bitch about it. She'd have some. Oh, Heather, are you a hairdresser? Because I said the exact same thing. And I'm not a hairdresser, but I've been going to a professional hairdresser for long enough to know, and I've seen enough girlfriends. Listen, ladies, I'm sure you all know by now, but just for the people like Betty who haven't gotten the message, there is nothing, I repeat, nothing sold over the counter that will take your hair from brown to this in one easy step or any easy steps. They can't sell anything over the counter. There's a reason you have to buy the good stuff from a beauty supply and be licensed. They can't sell it over the counter, okay? And I told Betty, Betty, when she was talking about her brunette look, I did tell her, Betty, don't think that you're just going to go get some Miss Clairol off the shelf and slap it on that hair, because that hair shaft is wide open and I mean, that's all just porous. My hairdresser said there is no protein left in that hair. Yeah, that would go green. Oh, greenish gray. Oh, it would be awful. So, yeah, there is that. I don't know. Lowlights cost her money, and I don't think anyone else is giving her credit card to run up and not pay. Oh, God. Yeah. It's just, I mean, she needs to just bite the bullet. I mean, if for no other reason, the fact that you're not turning the ship around, it's not coming back to the port of healthy hair. It's not. It is lost at sea. It is shipwrecked. It is with Ginger and Marianne and the professor on Gilligan's Island, and it ain't coming back. So I think what she's doing, I think she's going to let that grow out as much as she can. I don't know. I don't know what the hell she's waiting for, but it's way past time. So to me, while she's still got the hair she's got at the shortest, breakage point, go to a professional and just tell them, do the best you can for me as far as the cut, the color, and buy a wig. I mean, listen, there's no shame in wearing a wig. My God, they make gorgeous ones. Hell, I've thought about buying a brunette one, just for when I want to be taken seriously. And I'm only partially kidding. I just thought, well, gosh, I mean, I think I used to be a brunette. Hell if I know. It's been so many decades since I've seen it. But I thought, oh, maybe that would be fun just to turn the camera on one day and be a brunette or red. I had I had a red wig one time and I liked it. I did. So anyway, yeah, but I mean, I would think that being stone cold bald would be, at least then we'd take mercy on her and, we'd apply the mercy rule, but to continue to roll around looking like that, that's why, see, and it's these kinds of things that I cannot understand. How people, these idiots that are in her coffee club. Did I say that I saw there was only it was either 73 or 78 people in there this morning? But how do people not look at her? How can you possibly think that she is a serious person with a serious career, either now or at any point in the past? Because I don't care if you are just doing YouTube, you're still putting yourself out for possibly the entire world to see you. And I'm sorry, there is no serious person. And I'm sorry, if you're going to talk about people being murdered, babies being, abused, kidnapped, etc., you need to be serious. And I promise, I'm wrapping it up. And serious people do not present like she does. They just don't. So, all right. Well, my dog he's like, all right, look, I've told you at least 4 times now, and I'm done warning you. And he's starting to walk out the door, which means I need to go take him for a walk. All right, everybody. Thank you so very much for joining me. Headstones. I don't know if you're still in here, but I am going to pop into your live. She's going to be live at 4 o'clock. She is also going to be talking about Miss Betty. So go give Headstones and Headlines some love. She's in this Betty fight with all of us. She's down in the trenches with me. Night Owl, I absolutely agree. Yep. They rock with her because they are her. So I agree. All right, everybody. I hope everybody has a great day. The rest of it, whatever's left, enjoy your evening, and I will see everyone. What's today? Wednesday? I doubt if it'll be tomorrow, but I'll be in the chats, but probably Friday. All right, everybody. I'm going to find my fabulous exit music. Have a great day.